Welcome to Small Arms Solutions. Today we're looking at a couple of Caracals. Now those of you who know me, I've been a very big fan of Caracal. I go back long before they were available here in the United States. I visited Abu Dhabi on several occasions, and I had visited the actual Caracal factory in UAE. And I had seen the original production of the Caracal 816, which was an external piston version of the rifle that was being used for the Jordanian army, as well as had several other contracts since. The designer, Chris Royce, and there was another gentleman from H&K who were over there. That was a direct lineage from the HK416 to the SIG 516 to the Caracal 816 being the next generation of those. Well, as a parallel development, also there's many people who, like myself, who generally prefer internal piston. So the Caracal model 816 was their external piston, and the 814 was internal. So they would have, as many as you like to say, the term direct impingement, which is totally incorrect because that's not what the system is. I say internal piston. They also offered that as well. And right here we see two American-made versions. We have the Mo and we have the Patrol. The Mo was the first one that I had gotten my hands on when Caracal USA first opened its doors up here in the United States. And basically it was designed as a basic model of a standard AR type rifle. Some of the modifications were to the barrel. There were some modifications that were made to the gas system, and the receiver also has its own, the Caracal receivers. But once we're going to take a look at this one back to front, and we're going to see what makes this one a little bit different. Now they use for the stock they use the Magpul CTR stock. The receiver extension is a standard receiver extension, but it has an interesting aspect to it. When you take a look at this is a 6 positions, but you'll see that there are holes cut in a few of these slots here. What that is for this thing, for its over-the-beach capabilities, as the bolt carrier moves rearward, it will push water out those bottom holes. So that's one of the modifications that they had made to the receiver extension. You do have it staked. Your receiver extension end plate is for a the HK hook style. Lower receiver, 7075 T6 aircraft aluminum, very similar to a regular mil spec. This is a proprietary custom pistol grip that's used by Caracal, so it's sort of one of their calling cards, which makes the rifle stand out. Now looking at the upper receiver, you do have a unique landscape to it. You'll see we do have pictograms on here. We have the notch on the safety, let you know what's there. Standard mil spec trigger. This one here is about 6.5 pounds. You have a flared magazine well. You have a grippy groove on the front. Looking over to the left-hand side, you have a standard mil-spec type safety, standard ping-pong paddle. Of course, Caracal model 814A2, safe and semi. These are also available in selective fire for law enforcement use as well. Looking at the upper receiver, standard mil-spec M4. The only difference is these are a little bit different. They have a little notch cut in the front here. That notch cut in the front, as we'll see when we go over to the Patrol, it's interlocking with the handguard for anti-rotation purposes. Looking at the barrel, 4150 chrome moly vanadium. This is a nitride-coated barrel. Now, the gentleman over at Chris Royce when he was over at Caracal, he's no longer with Caracal, but when he was there, the barrels that are manufactured in the UAE are all military-grade barrels, which are all cold hammer forged, and they are all chrome plated and manganese phosphate finished. When they manufactured their barrels over here, Chris decided to go with a nitridic process. He felt that it was just as good. So we'll try to take his word for it. The profile that you have here is a modified M4. So you can see this is a little bit different. This is the 16-inch barrel. They offered these in 14.5 and I believe 11.5 inch as well. The handguard in here was a standard Magpul Mo. And the front sight base is a F-marked front sight base. This is a standard mil-spec type bolt carrier. This one here is not nitride. This is a manganese phosphate finished. So it's a standard M16 type bolt carrier group. You do have M4 feed ramps. Another thing that we'll notice in here that Caracal puts on all of their guns, where SIG did for a while, now they stopped doing that. Now they just use a plastic AccuWedge. This is a spring-loaded plunger that when you go to close the receiver, it works as a tensioning device. So basically you have absolutely no play in the upper and lower receiver. Now the buffer that you have in here is an H2 buffer. So the way this is gassed with the receiver, you have absolute perfect ejection pattern at 3-4 o'clock with military grade ammunition, with a higher pressured ammunition. Now, I don't use the lighter wolf stuff, so I'm not going to tell you how that works in it because I only use good military grade type ammunition. But the way this is gassed with that ammunition, it is absolutely perfect. The newest one we have here is the CAR814A2 Patrol. Now, this one has several modifications over the standard Mo. For the most part, it's basically the same rifle with more of a lipstick and rouge type change. But this also is more of an evolutionary change. There's been some modifications that Caracal has done over the years. The Mo that we're looking at here was first production. This was the first release of the guns. There's been some change in some of the parts, including the charging handle and the bolt catch, which are Strike Industries, which we're going to take a little bit closer look in a few minutes with this. Those are the main changes on all of their production rifles are using those Strike Industries parts, those two. So taking a look at the rifle we have here, we go to a CTR stock. Again, this is something that I prefer over the standard rifle. Again, the mil-spec type receiver extension with the 6 positions, which also has those drain holes. And again, we have on the back here, we have a QD slot for a QD sling point. We have on here, very similar to the primary weapon system's stakeless receiver extension nut. So you don't have to stake that. It's just basically torqued down. You don't have to stake that down at all. Lower receiver, just like the Mo, you have B75 T6 aircraft grade aluminum, type 3 hard coat anodized black. But this time we have an ambidextrous safety on here, which before we didn't on the standard Mo. Charging handle, very interesting aspect. What makes this one unique is it does not use a latch. This uses 2 spring-loaded little detents on here, similar to what Brownells has been doing with their BRN-10. But this eliminates the need to have a latch on there. I'm not sure how I like that. I think I did like the other one better. This is also relatively narrow, so this might be a change that I probably wouldn't have preferred myself. Looking at the left-hand side, we have the same. What we can see here is a Strike Industries bolt catch, which is a little bit different of a profile, safety. Everything else is the same. On the side here is the Mo. Where things get a little bit more different on the Patrol is the handguard. Now the handguard, this is a 12-inch free float M-lock type handguard. Again, I prefer these. I'm not much for the ones that go all the way out. This is about as long as I would want. We also have on here the Manta rail protectors, which are probably the best in the industry for as far as heat. We do have a code for those at Manta's website, BAR20, and you're able to get 20% off of anything on their website. So go check those guys out. We did add on here the Magpul MBus Pro. So this is the main difference that you're going to see here is the handguard. It's going to see the addition of the CTR stock and the ambi features. So that's the main difference between the Mo and the Patrol. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take both these out to the range and we're going to see how they shoot. Well, the one thing that we notice is recoil impulses on these is beautiful. The gassing is beautiful. Extremely well made. These are definitely a well step above most of your standard ARs that are out there for as far as fit and finish, engineering that goes into them, their quality control, their development. Not to mention the people who develop them are some of the best that are in the industry right now. I've been a Caracal fan for quite some time. I really do like their 816 external piston gun. I think it's probably the best one in the market. They've done just as good of a job with their internal piston rifles. They are available now. If you are looking to buy Caracal rifles, I would definitely recommend you contact Caracal USA directly to see where they ship to, or if you order from them direct to FFL. I think you don't see too many of these in gun shops, so I would imagine you probably would contact them directly. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please click like, please subscribe, and even better, share. Thank you.